I want to welcome everybody to our online survival with our Beacon Scholars. This is going to be a great session, a time of Q&A to learn about what our students are doing and what tips they might have to share with their peers and LCS students as we all navigate this new online world. So I'm going to start with Naomi Levin. If you will tell us what school you're at, what you're majoring in, and what things you were involved in on campus before all of this happened.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm a student at William & Mary. I'm a freshman, and I'm on like the pre-med track. So I'm thinking right now my major is going to be kinesiology. And then some of the things I do like extracurricularly, I'm part of a research lab called GeoLab, and we do data science, kind of parsing through information, and we have different branches of that. And then I do Club Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm a member of the Red Cross Club, like the Minorities in Medicine Club, the Health Careers Club. And then I also do a bunch of IM sports with a bunch of my friends. So that's kind of what I've been doing this past half semester and the semester before that.
Fun stuff. Manan, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Hey guys, my name is Manan Shah. I'm a second year at University of Virginia. I'm majoring in public policy and leadership. Some groups that I was involved in on campus or on grounds was a second year council where I was on the diversity and inclusion committee. I also volunteered with the Madison House, which is like a volunteering organization where I got to tutor some elementary school children at a school. I'm also part of this organization called the Human Library, where we get people of different backgrounds and just come together and share their experiences at UVA.
How about you, dear?
I'm De'Aaron. I'm a freshman at Virginia Tech, and some things that I'm involved in is the Calhoun Discovery Program, where we just work in collaborative environments and we work on like real world problems with different companies. I'm also a VT crew, and I'm also with Chi Alpha at Virginia Tech, and I've also just done a few, like joined a few other clubs, like the Black Brothers Club, where we just kind of like African American guys come together and we just like play games and just talk about like Black people problems and stuff like that. And yeah.
Cool. How about you, Demontre?
Well, my name is Demontre Dabney. I am a sophomore majoring in business management, but I plan on changing my major into international management. And right now, before I left campus, I was involved in Men on the Move, which is like we foster brotherhood among like Black people that go to our school, and well as involved with middleman mentorship. So we have a middle college on our campus, and so what I do, I go in, I basically mentor children from that middle college, and I have to go in and talk to them, make sure they're doing their work, kind of like a shoulder they can lean on. So if they need any advice, anything, help with their homework, I'm there to help. And also I'm involved in the Charles Hamilton Houston Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Is where I recruit people from on campus, like people on my campus, and we try to like give back to children of color, like little children of color, and try to help them like professionally develop themselves with leadership skills and better career outcomes they can have later on. So just preparing them professionally.
Good stuff.
That's great.
Rashid?
Okay. Hi, I'm Rashid. I'm a second year at UVA, where I major in public policy and leadership, and I minor in computer science and technology entrepreneurship. And on grounds, I'm involved with a few different organizations, including the University Programs Council, where I'm the director of the Cinema Tech Committee, basically meaning that every week we work to put on movie screenings and like early screenings and such like that for all the students to do. And I'm also a member of the Eccles Council. I'm a member of the Phi Sigma Pi Gender Inclusive National Honor Fraternity. And yeah, that's just a couple of things I do.
Hey everyone, I'm Heidi Vanderhoff. I'm our Future Center Director with UC Glass. And I was going to ask the next question. I was curious how your schools handled the transition to online and how it's been for you during this time. So we'll start with Naomi.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I mean, our school handled it pretty eloquently given the circumstances. So we were all aware of the situation. We went home for spring break, and then basically we were told we weren't supposed to come back, but we were given a pretty generous window to come collect our stuff. So obviously that wasn't ideal for people who lived cross country, but most everyone was able to come back and get their stuff. And then our school stayed open as long as possible to handle to provide international students, a place to stay while they figured out their arrangements. Academically, it's been all right. Our professors have been really accommodating, very aware that everyone's undergoing different circumstances. Not everyone has as much time to allot to academics now that they're home, and that our ability to focus has been greatly affected because there's so many things we could be doing now that we're not in our academic environment. But overall, it's been pretty smooth, and I really have to credit the school with being as accommodating as possible given the circumstances.
Thank you. We're just going to go on down the line. We'll go next to Rashid.
Yeah, I think UVA has handled like the whole situation very well. It's just been like they've actually introduced the new thing where like if there's a class that maybe you're struggling in now that you weren't struggling in before or whatnot, you can opt to because at the beginning of each semester you can choose whether you want a class to be credit or no credit or graded, which means it would impact your GPA. And actually UVA does a really good job of like listening to students, I think. And like so after we went online, a bunch of like students made a petition to like make credit or no credit an option for classes, even if we didn't choose that at first. And because of that, UVA like reflected the petition, their decision to make that a option for students. So now for all of our classes, we have until the last day of class to decide whether we want it to be credit or no credit or graded. So this is like an example of like a way that UVA has like tried to try to be like more accommodating for us amidst like all this mess. But yeah, I think they've handled it pretty like a lot of my classes now, they just like post lectures at a random time and then like give us an entire week to watch it just because they don't understand like just because they're understanding like people have different ways that they're like handling it at home and whatnot. They just want to be like open for everybody to like continue their school. So yeah, I think they've done pretty well.
Thank you. Manon.
Yeah, I agree with Rashid. UVA did a very good job communicating all the details to us through email and social media. And there's been a lot of student activism to make different arrangements for students so it's convenient for them. And I think UVA administration has done really a good job listening to the students' concerns, as well as the employees' concerns. The professors as well, they're really understanding. They know that this is an unprecedented time for many students, and they're very understanding, and they're willing to help students individually if they're struggling or not. I guess personally for me, it was hard at first to get into the rhythm of things, but I tried to make a schedule of what I would usually do at UVA and try to apply it today. I will try to apply it here in quarantine. So just so I can get adjusted to the normalness of things and just get back on track with all my classes.
Thank you. We'll go De'Aaron and then Demontre.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. We just wanted to know a little about how your school handled the transition into online learning and then how it's been specifically for you.
Okay. Well, I was like, we were all spring break, and at that time I was actually with the VT crew team in Tennessee. So we came back that weekend, like the last day of spring break, and it was like they were basically Virginia Tech kind of extended their spring break to a second week, and then they allowed us to go into their website and basically you had to pick a time slot to come get your things and move out. And that's how they kind of handled the situation. You just basically had a time slot to get your things and move out, and they left the school open and the dining halls open for students who wanted to stay on campus. They still offered you to stay, and if you chose to stay though, you just wouldn't get the $1,000 rebate that they were giving out to students who chose to leave campus. Most students did choose to leave, but a lot of students also chose to stay because they wanted to still have that, like, I guess, campus feel for the rest of the semester. But if you did stay, they kind of had like rules for you, like you had to stay in your dorm. And as far as dining and stuff, you had to they brought the food to you. It was like a 75-cent charge, I believe. And so, yeah, that's how the school overall handled it. They also did what UVA did, and they offered you like to be graded either like A through F or just simply, or you get graded pass or fail, or yeah. So you had that option also. And personally for me, I decided to go home, and they just basically sent you like $1,000 rebate. And yeah, the transition for me has been pretty smooth. I'm in a business information technology class, so most of my classes when I was at school were online. Most of them, like you only had to go to class maybe like once a week, but that was mostly it. So it hasn't been that hard of a transition. It's hard for like particular classes that especially do with like math, or like someone who has an engineering major and they have to do like a lot of stuff hands-on. It's probably more harder for them. But yeah, overall for me, it was pretty easy.
Oh, for me, well, for me, I feel like my school did a good job on handling it very well as offering us the pass and fail, or we just get a grade. And we have a specific deadline for it, and it's till, let's say, June 30th. We could so after we receive our grades, we could choose if we want to use pass or fail. And online classes it's in a way, at first it was kind of hard doing online classes because I'm so used to like waking up, going to class, and just having my day busy. Now I just have so much free time, and just like, it's like, how do I handle it? But I've been handling it very well, just scheduling myself out pretty well.
That's good. Thanks for sharing, guys. My next question is off of our scripted questions, but you guys have shared some about your experience, but I want to know, like, your world, all of our world really as we know it has flipped upside down, and it's different than how we expected life to be at this moment. So how are you guys feeling? You've talked about what you're doing in the adjustment process, but how does it feel to be in this space right now? We can start with Manan.
Yeah, sure. Well, to be honest, there's a lot of anxiety since it's such an uncertain period of time. But I think it's okay to feel anxious right now. You just have to be willing to accept that feeling and just, I guess, try to connect as much as possible with your loved ones and family and friends, just to stay sane during this period of time. But yeah, I think as we get through this, I think it's going to be better, and we'll be more comfortable as we go on.
Good. Rashid, do you want to answer this question?
Yeah, sure. I think it's just been like tough maintaining like motivation with school because because for the past 2 years, the only time I've come home is when I'm on a break from school. So like I don't associate home with like doing work at all. It's like it's hard to like get into like doing work at home and feeling like because school right at this point feels very optional, and that's not good because it's not optional.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just so used to coming home and just like not doing work here and just like completely separating like college from home, and like kind of like the lines between that are like kind of are like completely blurred now. So it's completely different. So it's been like kind of hard transitioning to like getting more into doing work at home and online work. And it's also been tough, like navigating, like feeling like you losing like that time at school. Like, you know how they say like college time is so precious, and like just like completely losing that in a way. But I guess
Yeah.
way of like handle that is by just thinking of it as like a temporary delay and not a like complete stop. Cause like we'll go back eventually and then things will be good again.
Yeah. Naomi?
Oh, I definitely agree with all that. And I think one of the most important things to like remember is that, I mean, life has been altered in a pretty drastic way, but you know, humans are resilient creatures. I mean, we're gonna bounce back, we're gonna make things work, maybe in new ways that are different. But if we look hard enough, there are always silver linings. I mean, you see like all these Instagram posts about all the clear skies, New Delhi and China and everywhere, you know, pollution has taken a chill. I mean, you hear about people saying how much they're connecting with their family and friends more so than ever because of the proximity of being at home. Like my dad organized a family reunion. So like we were talking with cousins from Israel and San Francisco and like all these people I didn't even really remember existed. And so I think that amidst like all the anxiety and the uncertainty of like what's going to happen, are we going to go back in the fall? You know, do we take this pass fail or not? There's also a balance that we have to acknowledge, and that it's important to acknowledge that there are some good things that are coming out of this. And I think with those coupled, then it makes dealing with this whole situation a little bit more bearable. So then we can find motivation to do our schoolwork, because it's like it won't always be this way. And then we'll be back with our friends and continuing on our career paths in the way that we more so expected.
Demontre and then De'Aaron?
Well, I want to say it's kind of good and bad at the same time. Good, good wise, like spending time with family and just like this is a time where everything is like slowed down, like slowing down. So I take it upon myself trying to like develop myself, like academically and like professionally. And then the bad part about it is like I was expecting like a couple internship like offers. So some of them have been like postponed or declined because of the corona. And some of the companies can't like adjust to it a certain way. So that's what, and it's kind of hard, like just going off what Rashid said, what he said, I don't I associate school and home differently. So it's kind of hard to like come home and like just keep doing schoolwork.
Understood.
Oh, I say definitely just a lack of motivation as far as I'm concerned. Like when I went home, uh, for me it was different. It wasn't even like, oh, it's a great time to just bond with your family and stuff like that. For me, because I guess every household is just different, and like it wasn't that for me. It was more like they were like, for me it was more of they were distracting than rather than like it being good to be around them. That is, I'm not saying they're like bad people. It's just like when I was at home, you know, you live with like a lot of people, you just hearing stuff all day, and that's kind of distracting, and it makes me lose. I don't know. I just can't focus, and then being home, like they were saying, I would separate home and school, and it's kind of like I lose motivation to do anything because it's like I'm in a home type of environment and like I'm comfortable. You know, I got a game I could play that's just sitting there, and it's like, oh, like I might want to do that, or you know, you got your friends now that you back home, they want to like talk to you on FaceTime or like hang out with you or something, and so being home, I say, is like real distracting. Sometimes kind of distracting when you're trying to focus on your homework also. But to get that motivation back, I just try to think about like why I'm doing this whole college thing and like why the people who gave me scholarships invested into like my future and everything. And then that's kind of helped me like get back motivated and was like, okay, I'm doing this because I, you know, want to be successful and that I really want to pursue a career in this particular field. So that's how I've like been going throughout it. So yeah.
All right, I have the next one. What have you learned about yourself through this experience?
We'll start with Rashid this time. I can see everybody thinking, so I'm going to give you a moment to think about it. But we can start with Rashid.
Well, I've learned that I definitely need to appreciate my time at school more. I realized that I wasn't, because I've just been like thinking of all the things I could have been doing while I was on grounds, which is like on campus. We just can't say on campus. I've been thinking of all the things I could have been doing on campus or on campus, but I wasn't doing, and like how now I'm like that time is gone, and how like actually my time at school is just like so precious and so like short that I definitely need to like spend more. I need to like step out my comfort zone a little bit more at school, and just like definitely explore more and just like appreciate my time while I'm there.
That's good. How about Demontre?
Just going off of what he said, I feel like I need to step out of my comfort zone a little bit more. I feel like I missed out on some opportunities as well that are on campus that we have. That's pretty much it I can really think of. So just learning from like, one thing I need to learn is just like, it's okay to make mistakes, but just learning from the mistakes a little bit more quickly.
How about you, Manal?
Yeah, I agree with Rashid and Demontre. I guess I could be more outgoing at college, make use of more opportunities that are presented to me. And I guess I could also be more grateful to the fact that I, get to go to college. I guess you're seeing like on the news about this coronavirus, it's affecting the most vulnerable. I guess that reminds me of how much privilege I have. And from that, I've learned, like, I want to learn how I can use the privilege that I have to help other people who, might not be as fortunate as I am. So I guess that's kind of reinvigorated like a spirit in me to give back to other people, to try to make other people's lives at college, just in general, better. So that's what I've kind of learned from this experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with basically what all of them said. Just like stepping out of your comfort zone, because I'm like a freshman, and first semester, like I didn't do it honestly at all. And then second semester, I started to, step out way more and just do a whole bunch more stuff. And like once I finally started doing it, it was like, cut short. You got to go home because of the virus and everything. And I definitely just say, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, I'll just definitely, I would definitely say, yeah, like the whole like missing out on opportunities and stuff. Like, cause I've noticed I also, while I was at school, I didn't even notice I was kind of losing focus I was just focusing on just like academics a lot of the time and not focusing on like any other opportunity that was presented in front of me. But now being home, like I've gotten an opportunity to focus more on different things like internships and stuff like that. And like I have interviews and stuff for different programs that I want to be a part of. And so, yeah, I feel like I've kind of gained that back though, my focus, and started like, okay, I'm focusing on my academics and also just different opportunities to help me progress within the field that I'm in. So, yeah.
And Naomi, what about you? What have you learned about yourself in this experience?
Definitely agree with everyone on, like the whole friend thing, stepping out of your comfort zone. I think one thing that definitely out of this experience specifically is that I've kind of come to realize what kind of a standard I like to hold myself to, for better, for worse. And so being in quarantine where things have changed, some stuff has gotten harder, my focus hasn't been as great. I've definitely come to terms that I need to be nicer to myself in terms of my expectations and kind of what I can manage to do. Thankfully, Manan was talking about privilege. Like my mom goes to work still every day, so I had the house where I can just focus. I don't have to take care of siblings. I don't have a job. I don't have all these external factors that might hinder my academic ability. But definitely the change in itself contributes to some stuff. So definitely learning like what things I can do in my day that kind of just help me to relax or help me to acknowledge that, okay, I got like a 90 on this paper, like that's not the end of the world, like there are going to be future assignments, I can do other things, and so I think just kind of understanding better like what makes me happy and how to incorporate that in like my academic life has definitely been interesting.
These have been some really, really great answers. I feel like we could do this for an hour, but we have about 2 more questions that we have time to ask you guys because I know you have class and other things to do. So we want to respect your time. So my next question is, how can people best support you right now? And where this question came from for me, I've seen people post on Facebook, like their senior year high school picture, their senior year college picture, in support of the students who are graduating and kind of going through this transition. But is that necessarily really support? And so I want to know, like from your perspective, how can people best support you, and how things have kind of changed in your world? And we can start with De'Aaron.
Honestly, I'm gonna just simply say be understanding of like I would say be understanding, and that's just because like you said, I see like a lot of people post different things about like how they're feeling and with the whole transition and stuff like that. And I would just say like, to their like families and stuff like that, because some people might have like, a mood here and there and stuff like that. And I would just simply say like be understanding of this is like a hard transition for some people, because some people being in college, it was better for them in their life rather than being home. And so having to be home is like not maybe good for them at all. So and with the transition also just going into again academic wise, a lot of people have like lost their focus or lost their motivation to do anything, and they're trying to like regain it back the best way that they can and try to get back on track and focus more onto their schoolwork. So yeah, I would just say while they're doing all of that and trying to handle all that, just be understanding and that this is like a hard time for everybody.
How about Manon?
Yeah, being understanding, I think that's key. Like I know a lot of seniors in college and high school, I know that they're missing out on important events like prom and graduation. And like in the face of this virus, it seems small, but I think it's still really important to so many of these students who've worked hard to, get where they are. So just anyone who wants to support, I think just be willing to understand that, these students are going through a rough time as well. And also just to listen. Sometimes young people, like especially, students in high school, when they're telling you a problem, sometimes they don't want advice. They just want someone to talk to, someone to, express their feelings. So just keep an open ear and be willing to be understanding and just listen. And I guess for some of the adults, it would also be helpful if maybe just reaching out to people that who are in high school or in college, the final years, and they're missing out on stuff. Just individually reaching out and telling them that, hey, I'm here if you need someone to talk to. I'm here if you need any help. I think that goes a long way.
Naomi?
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Darren and Manon said. I think another important element to remember is like, especially for college students and high school students, like we had a schedule for college students, especially we were doing like our own independence thing. We had, we were doing what worked best for us in that environment. And so as we come back and we're adjusting, like we're still adjusting, even though we're a month into it at this point, to be understanding, to listen, but also to just give us space when we need it. If we're asking for certain things, it's not because we don't want to watch the family movie or something. Like we have things that we need to do, and we have certain times that productivity is optimal for us. So I think being understanding, like not, but also like in actions, and just kind of respecting our space and that we have established for ourselves, kind of like what we're used to doing. I think that's also really helpful in this time.
How about Demontre and then Rashid?
Just piggyback off of what everybody else said. Just being understanding of like others' time as well as just listening.
Mhm.
I think that's that's a big part because I feel like that goes a long way just for understanding and just listening, just trying to be there for them as well.
Yeah, I agree with everything everybody else has said. And I think it's definitely important just to like put actions to where your words are, kind of. Because a lot of professors will say, like, we understand you're going through a tough time, but that will be like the limit to what their accommodations will be when like they're not really like adjusting their coursework properly for an online setting. So I think it's just important just to like think about the fact that people might be going through different stuff and you don't really know what situation specific people are and considering the whole mess of what's going on. And just like actually being accommodating rather than saying, I'm sorry. Just like, where you and like opportunities where you can be, just like going and just like being easy on everybody and on yourself too, of course.
Mhm.
As we close out, I just wanted to ask for everyone to share any advice or words of encouragement that you have for your peers or other students.
I have advice. I think you should just take this time upon yourself, just what like everything is slowing down. Just take this time just to like spend some time learning yourself and learning how can you do better and just like self-reflect on the things you could have done better, what you could do next, and how can you improve as well in college and your personal life. And also like just not taking this time for granted and just spending time with family.
Good.
That's my advice.
Yeah, I agree. This is a really great time for introspection and self-reflection. And like I'd recommend if anyone who's watching, just write how you feel. Write down some goals that you have, places where you want to be. And I think if you write that down and spend some time, every week just writing or journaling, that could really bring some peace to your mind and really can solve some of the anxiety around this time. Yeah, and just stay connected with family and friends. Keep checking up on people who are susceptible to this virus.
Yeah, I just agree with what they said, like self-reflect. But this is also like, I guess since you're just in the house, a good time to get things done that you always put off or always said you were going to do, but just never have gotten done. Because I see a lot of people too, just in general, get it like starting up like planning themselves to start up a business and stuff like that. Like they're taking this time to really think about what they want in life and taking this time to like plan and do. So I would just simply say, yeah, take this time to self-reflect, but also take this time to think about like where you want to go in life and possibly just take the steps to get there right now while you're free to do so.
Yeah.
This like phrase. Oh, sorry, you can go ahead.
Okay. I was just gonna say, going off of like what all you guys have said, like definitely don't forget to like look forward and be excited about things that will come. But also if there are days where it's just like you're feeling down or like you're just having like feelings, it's okay that like maybe you're not at your most optimal productivity like in that moment, or that maybe you did like choose to watch a Netflix episode instead of doing that assignment that's due on Thursday. Like also be kind to yourself, because you have lost experiences or things you were looking forward to, or you might have lost a family member, who knows. So like definitely don't let yourself fall into this trap of like just emotional self-pity or something, but also don't be so hard on yourself that you just push yourself so that you're like the superstar coming out of like quarantine. Like just be kind to yourself and be self-aware as well as looking forward and pursuing your goals?
I've seen this phrase on like social media somewhat, and it's just like said basically like do no harm. So basically just like be very like mindful of the decisions you make, like of like if you go out or whatever. And like just like definitely just be very just like think about like what steps you can take in the future to get where you want to be. And just like I think it's a great time to like plan for the future and to also just chill for a little bit, because I know we're all have super busy schedules and we're always moving, go 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 go. But now this is time to just like slow down and just like chill for a minute. And I think it's okay to chill. And a lot of people feel like at all moments they have to be doing something, and like if they're not busy working and something's wrong, like it's okay to just relax for a little bit and just chill.
This is also oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Manan.
Just also the class of 2020, like whether you're in college or in high school, you guys are really inspiring. Yeah, like if I was in your position, I don't think I would be, motivated to continue on, but I've seen a lot of you, keep pressing on, and that really gives me motivation as well. And I know we're gonna get through this, so let's just keep going.
That's good. Ms. V, do you have any encouraging words in closing?
Well, just to everyone, we care about you and we're so proud of everything that you're doing. And this is a time of transition for all of us. And so we appreciate everything that you're doing to support one another and be there for your friends and your family. And we are here for you also. If you need to talk about something or want to work through next steps towards what it is your goals are, we're still here for you in that way as well.
Absolutely. And Manan, like you just said, the class of 2020 is inspiring to you, but we are inspired by you guys. And I appreciate you all taking the opportunity to speak with us today and to just share how you feel and what's going on in your world. And we wish you well as you continue to progress and be resilient. Like Naomi said, you guys are resilient, and you're just keeping going. And we're proud to be working alongside of you through that process. So take your own words of encouragement and chill. Don't be so hard on yourself, and share that with your family and friends. So we love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go do your work or go watch Netflix, whatever makes sense today. But we really appreciate you guys taking the time to spend a little bit of time with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
No problem. Bye.
Yeah.